one of my questions would be, in your words, how would you define the lumpen proletariat?
The lumpen proletariat are just what we would call the illegitimate capitalists. People who don't have control over the productive forces in society, but seek to become rich through predatory behavior, and many of whom drift in and out of employment, many of whom are permanently unemployed. But they are the criminalized element in society: pimps, drug dealers, gang members, the hustlers, the people that live at the base of society, who survive by any means necessary and largely by preying on any and every class that they can, to acquire survival necessities, and, most of whom just seek to become rich, as quickly as possible. They have bourgeois aspirations. Many come from the proletarian class or are permanently unemployed proletarians, but it's a level of consciousness that devolves as a result of being compelled to live outside of the system of production, where hustling and exploiting people and preying on people as a means of survival becomes, the predominant cultural trait and the predominant survival trait. Lumpen is a value set that is developed through existing outside of the productive system, but also being compelled or being driven by predatory urges to survive by exploiting other people and preying on other people and using violence, coercion, these sorts of things as a means of survival. And, seeking or having bourgeois aspirations and seeking through what, Huey P. Newton called illegitimate capitalism, or, criminal, endeavors to gain what you want or to gain wealth, outside of the system of production.
Can I add something and try to push this conversation even deeper? We have been studying some of your work in my local study group here, and a lot of people, the way that lumpen has been described, criminal elements, parasitic. A lot of folks, when they first heard about that, was like, we can say the same thing about the capitalists, the bourgeois class.
Exactly.
So what makes the lumpen different? Is it because they come out of the proletarian class?
No, because they do not own the means of production. That's why they use illegitimate or capitalist approaches that are delegitimized by being criminalized or not being endorsed by the bourgeoisie. They are not part of the bourgeoisie because they do not own any means of production, but they seek to acquire wealth. They aspire after the lifestyle of the bourgeoisie, but through predatory means, through theft, through illegitimate means. They're typically poor. They're typically people who don't have employment. They don't have a role within the productive system.